All right, here we go. The state of Overwatch 2. Let's watch it.
Back in 2019, Jeff Kaplan walked on stage at BlizzCon and announced Overwatch 2 would try to redefine the meaning of a sequel. Nearly 3 years later, I had the opportunity to get some time.
It did redefine the meaning of a sequel. It's pretty much, most people thought a sequel would be a new game. The redefinition, it's the same game. That's about it.
Came in on the release build for Overwatch 2 in a preview event with other creators, and I can confidently say Overwatch 2 is not a sequel. At least, not yet. On one hand,
that's a good point. Like, I mean, you can easily, like, it's easy to meme on Overwatch 2, right? And we do it all the time because it's fucking funny. But the truth is that the actual Overwatch 2 content is going to come out with the PvE. That's the actual Overwatch 2 content.
Extremely high quality. The new visuals, the audio, the animations, art, skins, voice, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Everything in Overwatch 2 has that absurd level of Blizzard polish that feels so good. And on top of that, the new gameplay direction of Overwatch 2 is a massive improvement over the original. Combat has fewer ultimates, fewer shields, less CC, and more solo carry potential.
We've seen a lot of that. I would say that's probably a good thing. The thing is with me is, like, I've kept up with the with like Overwatch a little bit, but because like I didn't play it a whole lot, I don't really understand a lot of the pain points that people had with the game prior to Overwatch 2 on like a functional level. Like, I get, like, theoretically there's a bunch of tanks, bunch of absorbs, you know, like you can't really make plays, etc. But like, what does that really mean?
All core design changes in line with a new direction and nudges the game closer to its roots as an FPS shooter rather than the shield shooting simulator it had become. But all of this feels like a hollow shell.
Was that the game?
Rather than the shield.
What the fuck? God damn, no wonder they changed that shit. Holy shit, man. The hell is even going on?
Shooting simulator it had become. But all of this feels like a hollow shell. A fresh coat of paint that cannot possibly make up for the fact that this sequel has an extremely underwhelming amount of new content and it was supposed to be so much more.
That's true. Yeah, I do think that, I think people expected to have more, or like some new type of like gameplay that was like super transformative.
After waiting for almost 3 years, I log into Overwatch 2 and we somehow ended up with 3 new characters, a new game mode, and a handful of maps that's now launching.
I do like the new game mode. I think it's fun.
As an early access live service title. Clearly this is not the sequel Blizzard had in mind when Overwatch 2 was announced back in 2019. It's a drastic shift for Blizzard, a company that once made its name by ruthlessly delaying all of its games and updates until they were ready. What's surprising is that...
I mean, like, that's not really true. I mean, the fucking Diablo 3 wasn't ready. They released that. Warlords of Draenor wasn't ready. They released that. I mean, shit.
According to interviews, the team has only actually been working on this version of PvP Overwatch 2 for just over a year. Before that, the majority of its time went into building out the PvE side of the game instead. In
that
an
we've
interview
never
with
seen.
Tech Radar, Aaron Keller said, "When we originally made the decision to start focusing on Overwatch 2, it really made it so that both parts of the game had to be released at the same time. And as we were iterating more and more in some of the more innovative gameplay for the PvE side of Overwatch 2, it meant that it was going to take longer for PvP features to go public." Later on, he says, "So we made this big switch. It has been a really fast-paced year where we had to do a lot of things to turn this massive ship that was going in one direction to go in another direction in order for us to be able to fulfill one of our key values for the game, which is to be able to continually update it. It's very surprising they've only really focused on the PvP side of the game for just over a year, but it fits with the amount of content that's in the game."
Yeah, I feel like there hasn't been a ton of new stuff that was added. Like, as I said, I mean, whenever I played the game, a lot of the stuff is about the same. Like, there's a few changes to the abilities. The, you know, the graphical fidelity is a lot better. I'll definitely tell you that. Yeah, it's a lot fucking better. But in terms of the, like, actual changes, I think it's minimal. Yeah, 3 new heroes, 2 new maps. Something like that. 1 new mode.
The real question here is, why has PvE taken 3+ years of developer time? What exactly have they been working on?
And it could be really good. The thing is, like, the PvE content for Overwatch 2 could actually be super fucking fun. Like, it's totally possible that could happen.
Answer those questions, I dove into some old developer interviews and streams from 2019 onward to try and figure out what the original vision of Overwatch 2 was before business realities took over and forced Team 4 into this early access launch. According to Aaron Keller in late 2019, Overwatch 2 was built for those who loved Overwatch but didn't want to play a competitive FPS game. Overwatch 2 is going to
see, like, I think that's really smart. Because there are so many fucking people that have, like, little Mercy or Tracer keychains, and they have so much anxiety, they can't queue into the game. Because if they queue into the game, they get stressed out. So it's actually a good idea for them to do this. Overwatch has a huge community of people that don't play the game. I think that probably, if I were to guess, I think probably more people that like Overwatch don't play it than do play it. Assholes, that's why. I think some people just don't want to get in the competitive game. Yeah, and the Rule 34 community, that's a lot of people that are playing with something besides Overwatch.
That for them, where there's this game that people that don't play competitive shooters can jump into.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to play the co-op side of Overwatch 2 as their main lifestyle game. He elaborated later, saying that there is so much to that side of the game, from this big story experience to this really deep progression system as they play through hero missions. It's this massive tail to the game where people can play for years if they want to. And
we'll
for
see.
us, as we started talking about the game in those terms, it couldn't really be anything but a sequel. He also said later down in the interview that a lead designer on World of Warcraft was spearheading their progression system for Overwatch 2.
Oh, fuck. It's... Oh, no. Oh, no. Guys, it's over. It's fucking done. Well, we couldn't, you know, WoW players, we couldn't, it wasn't enough for us to just kill StarCraft and then also to kill our own game. Now we're gonna kill Overwatch 2. I don't know what to say. Like, it's just nuts. Overwatch 1 rebooted. Yeah, guys. There's going to be, like, the Covenant system. It's going to be great. Like, you're going to get legendary weapons. Man. Let's hear that one more time.
It couldn't really be anything but a sequel. He also said later down in the interview that a lead designer on World of Warcraft was spearheading their progression system for Overwatch 2.
Man. Oh, boy. It's going to be good.
This interview was never really well publicized, I think, because most of the
good idea.
General gaming community viewed Overwatch 2 as a simple PvE story campaign. But according to this interview, the real plan was much more ambitious. Honestly, it just sounds like they weren't building out a campaign, but also a full PvE endgame so that people could play PvE Overwatch 2 as their main game.
That's good.
It would be more than a year after this interview before we heard from the Overwatch team again, but we finally got to look at Overwatch 2's gameplay at BlizzCon Online in 2021. Overwatch 2 ended up looking very similar to horde shooters like Vermintide or Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
It had tons of random trash units, lots of objectives, a wide variety of special unit types like bomb units, swarming units, flying units, and even the stereotypical hook unit which shows up in every horde shooter ever, but with the basis of Overwatch gameplay and Blizzard polish.
And I think that's super cool. Like, I'm totally on board with that. That looks fun. Like, I'm down to play that, sure. Like, how long is it going to be entertaining? I don't know, but I would try it out, sure.
It looked fantastic.
They
also covered progression systems. Hero missions were the main form of content you would play after the linear PvE story campaign.
Which is smart, because, like, the fact is that a lot of people like the lore and, like, the world of Overwatch and the characters. It's like a lot of people really, really like the characters in Overwatch. So, like, having hero missions where you can kind of explore more of, like, what the background of the character is, I think that's actually a great idea.
There were hundreds of them and tons of variations with a focus on replayability. You would play these hero missions to level up your characters, which would give you more talents in order to create builds for your characters. They showed off one theoretical build for Soldier 76, where his heal station followed him around, knocking back enemies, where he was effectively a snowplow. They also revealed the existence of damage types, like cold or electrical damage, with their own unique effects on enemies.
Oh, Overwatch Impact. I see. Yeah, so we're going to have, is it going to, like, what if Overwatch 2 turns into being a gacha game? I mean, you never know, man.
And in a more recent interview, Aaron Keller confirmed that by leveling up, you can gain the ability to get equipment that you could use to become more powerful. Let's be clear. A game where you level up different characters, create builds, and obtain equipment to become more powerful in a cooperative, replayable PvE mode, the developer said they want you to be able to play for years. How can this be anything other than the very first steps to building out a PvE live service game set in the Overwatch universe?
Which I think is so fucking awesome. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, this is a massive W if they can actually pull this off and make it fun.
This is remarkably funny because of the origins of Overwatch. For those who don't know, Overwatch was spawned out of a canceled class-based MMO FPS called Titan. Blizzard tried making an MMO FPS work for years, and after it was over, they turned around, they took some of the assets with a small team of around 40 to 60 people, and they spun out Overwatch in record time. Overwatch was one of the fastest games Blizzard ever made. It blew up, and it became one of the most successful franchises for the company.
I feel like Overwatch was massive whenever it came out. Everybody was watching Overwatch. Everybody was playing Overwatch. Overwatch League was a big deal. It was huge. It's like Valorant is now.
They then took that success, abandoned the game, and immediately went back to try and make another PvE FPS game.
They won't stop.
Absurd, and I respect it. It also makes sense because core Overwatch gameplay lends itself really well to PvE mechanics. We have tanks, healers, and DPS.
That's true,
archetypes that Blizzard has a ton of experience with after 10 plus years of developing World of Warcraft.
Well, I mean, there are some people that think that.
I could only imagine the incredible boss fights and missions those kinds of devs could create in the Overwatch universe. Blizzard would have something truly unique in the space that plays perfectly into their strengths as a company. And according to the devs, there's a massive Overwatch audience that loves the universe but doesn't want to play a competitive shooter anyway.
Exactly.
So what ended up happening to this crazy idea? According to Aaron Keller, PvE for Overwatch 2 is still what we've always envisioned for the game. There's a campaign, a AAA campaign, with a linear story that we're going to tell through it, and there's also a highly replayable mode with hero progression. But rather than keeping those until they're all finished at the same time and releasing them in a box, we would like to release those as part of our seasonal cadence for Overwatch 2.
I just hope that, like, I mean, the thing is, this is a good idea, but the problem that I have with it is that it's like they're expecting the player base to understand this. Because, like, right now, what everybody's saying is, like, Overwatch 2, there's no new content. It's called Overwatch 2 because there's 2 new maps. So it's like, I worry that this goal is not really being met. We're good now. Sorry about that.
In other words, instead of playing an entire PvE campaign and going through the PvE in-game as it drops, it will likely be cut up and sold in seasonal battle passes. Even though Aaron Keller says it's the same vision, I'm personally going to have to see it to believe it. Telling compelling stories in a live service setting is extremely difficult. The only games that really come to mind that pull it off at a good pace are games like Final Fantasy XIV and Destiny. It's entirely possible Overwatch
Destiny
can do it as well, and I really hope they do. But it's also easy to look at this and assume the worst, that it's just going to end up as a weaker product because it has to fit in a modern live service game reality. Overall, I can't help but feel disappointed because it feels like the original vision for this game was so much bigger than that, and it deserves its own developer team and time to bring that vision to fruition.
I think also it could just be that they're not really as confident in it as they were initially. That's probably what the issue is more than anything else, right? Is that they don't feel very confident in the game. And especially like after the... I mean, let's be honest, right? A lot of the community feedback from Overwatch 2 has been negative. Like, I was probably one of the only people that defended the game at all. And I feel like also whenever the beta came out, basically nobody played it past the first day. There was only a handful of people, and it kind of sucks. So I think that's probably what happened too, is that, you know, the company saw that there wasn't really as much interest for it, and maybe they pulled back, you know, the amount of investment that they were going to put into it, though.
I mean,
Community shit all over. Yeah, everybody shit over. Yeah, exactly.
No, Overwatch 2 senior hero designer. He said he can't speak for everyone, but for some insight into the hero design team, we've had a significant amount of time dedicated to creating the talent trees. For context, there are about 40 to 50 talents split into 3 trees per hero, and each of these trees has a few talents that are a similar complexity to creating a new ability for a hero. Okay. Heroes in Overwatch usually have 3 to 4 abilities and a weapon, so prototyping a new hero is actually faster than making the talents for one. There are 36 plus heroes to do that for, and then we've also got the PvP side with all the 5v5 rebalancing, hero reworks, and new hero development.
Name it to, like, leave it to Blizzard to multiply the amount of work that they have to put into something by like 10x, and then it comes out and it's not ready. That's 6 years? Yeah, it's a long time.
Top of that, imagine what these devs could do if they weren't spread out across so many parts of the game and could just focus on PvE or PvP. To be clear, I fully realize that it's entirely possible this theoretical Overwatch PvE side of the game could have flopped. It could have been a total disaster to wait that long for the franchise and the business. But this is Blizzard we're talking about, a company that made its name by ruthlessly delaying all of its games and updates until they were ready. And in a single year of focused development,
I do think that, like, yeah, if Overwatch 2 came out in like a year from now or something, and it was good and ready, I think people would have preferred that than to have it be released and it's being released piecemeal. Because I think what happens with that is that people assume that it's not ready, and it gets like this negative, it gets like a negative connotation in people's minds, and then nobody ever thinks past that. It's kind of like what happened with like BFA. It's like BFA had like a few bugs on release, and then ever since then it was beta for Azeroth.
They've already done a fantastic job reworking the game around 5v5 and building out new characters while trying to keep balance in check. But unfortunately, I won't see the bulk of what the hero design team has worked on in Overwatch 2 because in the middle of development, Blizzard found itself at a crossroads. One road would have seen it stick with old school Blizzard philosophy where you release the game when everything was actually fully ready as a massively hyped PvP and PvE launch. But the problem was the industry shifted around Blizzard, leading more and more games down the other path. Games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, and Valorant all hit the FPS
all that don't have a queue, by the way. Apex, Fortnite, and Valorant, none of them have a queue. So little fun fact to add there.
Year after year, each of which was free to play and consistently releasing content. Blizzard decided to cut its losses, accept the fact that PvE was taking too long, and turn the bus around. It would retreat back to the core PvP player base as an early access free-to-play live service game and try to compete directly with everyone in the industry again. This would stop the bleeding for sure, finally get something out the door, and create some consistent revenue from those sweet, sweet skins and battle passes. But it also means giving up on the original vision for Overwatch 2, on the partial revival of that original Titan idea. And that's a hard pill to swallow after having come this far.
Well, I think they'll probably eventually release it. The thing is, like, if it's a good game, people will eventually find out that it's a good game and keep playing it. I think that's a big factor. Is that, like, if people like watching it, if the game plays well, people will stick around.
I know there's no easy answer for Blizzard, and I understand the situation it's in as a company and as a business, even if it's one entirely of its own making. But as a player, all of these options are garbage. As someone walking into Overwatch 2's launch on October 4th, I see that early access tag, I notice the lack of content, and I can't help but wonder about that other road the old Blizzard might have taken.
Well, and it's also like, you keep in mind early access. How many games use early access as an excuse for being bad? Like, I feel like there's so many games that are like that, and the game is in early access forever, and it's just sometimes early access can be a bad thing.
how much more excited I would have been for a real sequel instead.
Yeah.
Assuming, of course, that it would have ever launched at all. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
This is a good video. I think also, like, it focuses on the disappointment that, like, players would have, because, like, you're right. I mean, whenever Blizzard would bring out a game back in the old days, it was a big fucking deal. And, like, now it's being released piecemeal, and, you know, it's like one part comes in, like, this part of the Battle Pass, the other part's in next month's Battle Pass. You know, it's a little bit weird to think about the comparison between those two things. And I don't think that it's really Blizzard's fault with that, because the truth is a lot of players nowadays, they don't want to spend money to buy a game. And if you make a game like that, you have to at least sell it, right? Because there's just so much in the game. You either sell it or you have, like, pay-to-win gotcha mechanics. You can't make a game like that without some degree of gotcha or, you know, a box price. So it's like they release Overwatch 1 and slowly funnel Overwatch 2 new content into the game. Yeah, basically. Games are already too cheap. They haven't met up with inflation. Well, I do think that games are very cheap now comparatively to how they were 10 years ago. I've talked about that before. But overall, I just think that the game needs to have, like, more actual content. And it needs to have the PvE content. And then maybe people will stick around and see if it's good. And also, like, the thing is, like, one example that's, like, kind of what happens if development takes too long is, like, Valheim. Like, Valheim was, like, the biggest game for, like, 2 or 3 months, and then slowly people lost interest in it because content wasn't coming out fast enough to keep people's attention. And that's what I'm kind of worried about happening with Overwatch 2, is that if they bring something out, even if it is good, if they can't follow that up with, like, more good content, people are going to lose attention for it. Yeah, that's what I think. Valheim was made by, like, 4 people. I think it was made by 5 people. Well, what I'm saying is, like, it doesn't matter how many people made it or, like, anything like that. All I'm saying is, like, this was the outcome of that type of a release. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything. I'm just saying that this was the cause, this was the effect. That's all. Halo Infinite's practically dead now. Yeah, I mean, it's just... It sucks. I mean, I just hope that the PvE content that comes out next year is actually good, and it's, like, it'll get people, like, excited enough for the game to where, like, Blizzard thinks that they should make more of it. Games used to be more expensive because they were physical products. I mean, I think that obviously, like, that's part of it, sure. Welcome to Overwatch 2. This is a game or a video Donkey made earlier today, I guess, and we'll see what it looks like. Here we go.
Hey guys, here I am with the new game Overwatch 2. We finally have access to the full game, except for the only exciting part. So I'm going to be doing a quick rundown on the good, the bad, and everything in between.
Okay, let's hear it.
Good. The logo is very nice, very much in keeping with the aesthetic of the original game. You have a nice orange rectangle with, of course, the white 2 on top. The orange rectangle, of course, being a nod to the orange segment at the top of the Overwatch symbol. Very classy logo. This is exactly...
I feel like, wasn't this the same logo for Overwatch 1? Like, I don't know. Like, now that I think about it, I wonder, like, yeah, was this the same logo? Yeah, it was. That's what I thought, yeah.
What fans want to see from a logo for Overwatch 2. As for the bad, well, I mean, what can be said? I think this new game is going to upset the die-hard Overwatch fans out there the most. There is no Winston, no new modes, none of the old modes return, no maps, no shooting or traditional gameplay to be seen. In fact,
what?
The game is no longer an FPS at all, but more of a battle royale, where the objective of the game is to be the player who keeps Overwatch on the longest. When you first enter a match, there are 30,000 other players in there with you, which is unprecedented for a battle royale. I think in Fortnite, it only goes up to like 100 players.
Yeah,
max,
this is 30,000.
But if you keep Overwatch open long enough, you'll start outlasting a lot of the other players. Oh, look at that. We just jumped down to 20,000.
No, I hope that at the end of this, like, he just gets disconnected and then put back at the end of the queue, man. That's what needs to happen.
That was a big move right there. That might be play of the game. So you see, it's a lot different than the old Overwatch, but there's still a level of excitement there. You know, I will say it's a much slower paced game than the original. We are probably going to be looking at this number for about 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
Come on, you piece of shit thing, man. Come the fuck. Oh!
Wow.
Oh! 10,000. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's gonna be able to play the game.
8,000, 7,000.
That's play of the game, yeah.
10,000. I'm gonna win. Game server connection failed. What is that? What does that mean? I'm already logged in, you dumbass shit. 0. Holy.
Okay, all right, 0. He's ready to go.
This game, I'm gonna be the first person out of this game. I'm gonna beat the whole game. I'm gonna get Winston back. 40,000 players.
New game.
Huh? Why is it going back to 40? Blizzard. I hate this new Overwatch. Oh my god!
Oh wow!
Open Battle Pass!
Oh my god, a Battle Pass!
Oh, I knew this was just like Fortnite. I can't believe I'm actually in Overwatch 2 after all these years. Here we go. Yes! Yes! Now
I'm actually surprised he was able to get in. Like, it took me like 10 hours to get in to even play the game, man.
This is the classic Overwatch gameplay that I know. Now this is what was it like back in the day. Oh wait, there is shooting. Oh, this is just Overwatch 1. Wait, what? What the fuck?
It is, to be fair, it is impressive how bad it is. Like, it is genuinely impressive how bad the servers are. Like, the fact that you have to go in and what predicted, yeah, of course I predicted it. You know why I predicted that? It's because I played the game. Yeah, I was the one that played the fucking game. I know what happens. I mean, there's some other things that people want me to look at on my, what do you call it? On my Reddit. And I'll take a look at a couple of them, and we'll just see kind of what's going on here. Valorant players that want to give Blizzard and Overwatch 2 another chance. Okay, yep, that's pretty much what I expected. Yep, sounds just about right. Yeah, Starforge PCs, yeah, I know. This is the vision for the logo. I think it's great, guys. Yeah, thanks a lot for these. I know there's been a lot of people giving me feedback on this. Let me see if I can find the other one here, okay? This is the one I wanted to see. Fuck! Okay, very fucking funny. Alright, let's see here. It takes 8 months to buy a single skin in Overwatch 2. Say goodbye. Wait, user reports self-harm. Okay, say goodbye to obtaining any of your favorite skins in Overwatch 2, because you'll either have to whip out your wallet, or you'll be grinding for 8 whole months straight. Overwatch 2's new system for obtaining skins is a complete joke, and here's why. If you want to buy any skin in Overwatch 2, excluding Battle Pass skins, how convenient, you will need Overwatch coins to do so, but there's only 2 ways of obtaining them. Buying them with real money, okay, big surprise, at 100 coins a dollar, or earn them by completing the weekly quest, getting about 60 coins per week. So wait a second. So it's like you're either getting... You work all week for something that's worth less than $1. Oh, man. 60 cents a week, guys. Wow. It's like, yeah, we're in the sweatshops now. Holy fuck. All right, let's see this. For instance, okay, the only issue is the system is that 60 Overwatch coins per week is way too low for what the average single skin is. For instance, legendary skins go for 1,900 coins, which equates to only $19 per legendary skin. If you're planning on doing weekly quests, that's 8 fucking months. So basically, all right. So, wow. That's crazy, man. Holy fucking shit. That's how much the game was worth? 60 cents. That's nuts. An epic skin, which is just simply a recolor, is 250 coins, which equates to almost 4 weeks of coins. So you grind for a whole month just for a recolor. Oh, I see that this is the systems designer that came from World of Warcraft, I see. Yeah, I can absolutely see how this happens. This is not a surprise at all. And let's see. Blizzard's new monetization on Overwatch is outrageous. Not surprising, by the way. And as a fellow player of Overwatch, I'm highly disappointed that the only way that I'll be able to obtain anything in this game is through my wallet. Dear Blizzard, I wouldn't be bitching right now if you had not shut down the original Overwatch servers. Fuck you, Bobby, and take my money. Yeah, okay, so he's going to buy it anyway. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Bobby's laughing all the way to the bank. All right, let's see here. You thought Blizzard made Overwatch 2 free to play for our benefit. Well, no, they did it because it's more advantageous for business. I think that's clearly why. That's okay. I think the irony is you pay $40 extra for the game itself. Of course, this doesn't cover up modern day, but like 8 months to grind an extra skin seems nuts. Yeah, that seems crazy, man. Damn, Blizzard's giving more pride and accomplishment than EA. Yeah, true. Imagine paying for skins. Yeah, I don't really have, like, I think I have, like, one skin for my, my Roadhog or something. I don't know even how I got that. And, that was it. Let's see if I can find the other ones. Man, Valorant, you can't unlock shit without spending money. Both sucks, in my opinion. But it's a downgrade from the previous system. I had a shit ton of skins in Overwatch 1. Didn't spend a single dollar on loot boxes. Everything I got was unlocked from playing. Online games aren't about playing anymore. They're about making money and having so many things to buy. I think that, like, really, if you're playing a free-to-play game and there's skins in the game for real money, I don't think that's a big deal. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm an asshole, but I think that's not a big deal. Valorant monetization is egregious. It's not that. It's a skin, man. Who cares? Let's see here. Real Overwatch 2 experience.
Come on. It's time to show you something.
Okay, oh, here we go. Oh, it's me. Oh, shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Yep, there we go. Fucking shot. I'm moving.
Unexpected server error. Love that.
It does feel new.
Uh-huh. Wow, look at that.
What?
Only 2,000.
No shot they did this. Are you? Wow.
Yeah. Blizzard, fix your servers. Like and subscribe. Yep, that's just about fucking right, man. Yeah, holy shit. What a surprise. I think if you compare it to any other game, that's what the problem is, right? Worse is sitting through the queue and finding all unlocks and progress is gone. At least you got to play. It's Overwatch 1 with some new characters. Yeah, true. That's basically it. This is why you don't support Blizzard. I think the game is, I don't know, I think the game's fine, right? I mean, but it's just, the company is complete heartless shit show. I don't see how Blizzard is, like, that much worse than these other games, because, like, every time that people criticize Overwatch 2, everybody also draws parallels, like, that are almost one-to-one with other games. So it's kind of weird to me that people are criticizing Blizzard for the things that these other games are doing all the time anyway. So, like, what the fuck? It's just that they have the most recent drama. Yeah, exactly. In Valorant, there's no FOMO for characters. I mean, is there for Overwatch? I mean, I don't think that there is. Yeah, I mean, they're all heartless shit shows. Yeah, like other games are even worse. Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of games are like this. We don't like those games either? Well, I mean, yeah, I just feel like it's a bit of selective outrage. Like, I don't hear this same stuff about Valorant. I don't. I never hear this stuff about Valorant. And so it's kind of odd. I do think that, like, obviously some of this stuff is stupid and making you have to wait 4 months to buy a skin is ridiculous. However, I also don't think it's like, it's like whenever you're only getting mad about one game doing this, whenever a bunch of other games are doing it, I'm going to take it less seriously. Because I already paid $40 for this game? Yeah, I mean, you did. I mean, it's an update, it's a live service game. Like, I don't know. I mean, you can still play the game for free. As long as your skins transfer over from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, I don't see the problem. Like, I really don't. I don't think this is that big of a deal, man. I feel like there's so many, there's like so many problems with gaming. The price of a skin in a game is like kind of low. You seem to be in pain trying to defend this game. Well, the reason, like, I'm not even really defending the game. All I'm saying is that I think that there is, like, do you guys agree with me? Is that there's, like, a certain amount of, like, selective outrage with Overwatch 2 versus, like, other games that have similar payment structures? Because, like, yeah, I feel like it's much more. I'm wrong? No, how am I wrong? Yeah, what's this here? It's a shit deal, don't defend them. What? Oh, it's not because they took out loot boxes. Yeah, well, that's good. Fall Guys went free to play and it didn't re-release as Fall Guys 2. I don't get, like, I don't know what the point of that is. Yeah. Dude's downplaying how hard it is to get skins in Overwatch when the only thing it doesn't allow is try to get mounts. Yeah, I mean, but if, like, you could buy the mounts, I wouldn't care about them, right? I mean, like, who would give a fuck about, like, farming for mounts you can just buy with real money? Like, why do you even care about something to begin with? You just buy it with real money. Who gives a fuck? Like, why is this worth anything to you? Like, I get that if it's, like, some sort of, like, cool thing, you think it looks cool, yeah, sure. But, like, if you actually, like, have, like, an investment in this, I think it's weird. Like, what the fuck? Gives a fuck? Who cares? That's why I don't have any store mounts. It's kind of ridiculous. Look at some of the top games on Twitch, compare monetization and Battle Pass. Overwatch 2 is W. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's this bad. It's bizarre there's even a queue. Yeah, I think the queue is a joke. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like, I'm not going to try to deny that. I'll say that for fucking sure. Loot boxes in Overwatch made sense. They're extremely easy to get. You got... Bro, like... If you can buy... Like, if you get loot boxes from playing the game, that's fine. But if you can buy them, I don't think that's fine. Like, I don't know how... I think that, again, people are doing these, like, fucking mental gymnastics to get mad at Blizzard. But Blizzard literally got rid of Overwatch. Or they got rid of loot boxes. I think that's a massive fucking accomplishment. That's a huge thing. Like, I would rather have skins that are priced very highly and not have loot boxes than just have loot boxes and this whole simulated gambling bullshit that every fucking game has now that's like getting kids into this fucking this pattern, this groove into gambling. It's so weird. Like, it's a massive fucking W. Blizzard literally got rid of all of the gambling aspects of their game. People still find reasons to complain about it. They literally get a game for fucking free, an update for fucking free. And again, yes, if you bought Overwatch 1, it's being made free to play. The same as Fall Guys was being made free to play. People are being completely unreasonable with this. It's fun to meme around about how Overwatch 2 is called Overwatch 2 because it has 2 new maps. It's funny. But the realistic element of this is I think that people are being completely unreasonable. The only frustration that I think players have that I think is completely fucking fair is the fact that they have to sit in a queue. Because Valorant doesn't have a queue, PUBG doesn't have a queue, Fortnite doesn't have a queue, and neither does Apex Legends. And fuck, neither does Warzone, and it's made by the same company. So how does this happen? It's outrageous. Yeah, it's not funny, it's a literal scam. Yeah, I mean, it's not a scam though, right? I mean, you just spend the money, you get the thing. That's not a scam. People just want to play and get skins for free. Exactly, man. How is it better if it was easier to get skins before than now? Because it's fucking free. What do you mean? It's a free game. Unreasonable when the company promised a redefinition of a sequel, then release this dog shit, get real. But they're not asking you to pay any money for it right now. Like, the content's not even out. It's the PvP mode is out. Like, I don't understand this. Like, it's... So that makes it good? Yes, it's a... Like... Bro, what the hell's wrong with people? Like, this is it's crazy. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Yeah, like, why are people so stupid? Like, what the fuck? Free if you never played the game before? Yeah, it's free. What do you mean? So, like, they can never change the game. They have a live service game. They can never change the fucking game because you bought it for $40 4 years ago. This is outrageous. Like, if you applied this logic to literally any other video game, you would be laughed out of the fucking room. But for some reason, this is acceptable with Overwatch. It's totally fucking stupid. 6 years ago. Yeah, they changed the monetization schedule of the game, structure of the game. They got rid of the gambling in the game, and people still find a way to complain about it. People just want to shit on Blizzard, yes. Like, I think you should shit on Blizzard like that. The fucking server stability sucks dick. The visibility in the game can be really bad sometimes. There are a lot of frustrating and bad things about Overwatch. But I think that people are picking on the wrong things. Yeah, it ain't a new fucking game. It's fucking free. Why? It's fucking free. I don't understand this. This is outrageous. Who cares? Yeah, it wasn't gambling though. You got all the skins so easily from loot boxes. So if you can buy loot boxes, then it's gambling. It's not complicated, is it? I don't get this. Yeah, it's nuts. I already paid for it, Jackass. Yes, if you already paid for the game, here's my outlook on it. And this is going to be something that might piss people off because it's realistic. A $40 one-time fee is not going to pay for the continual development of a video game. It simply will not do that. It's not happening. So they have to change the payment structure somehow. Whether you agree with this or not does not get rid of the fact that it is true. They need to refund. They're not going to refund you a game because you played it for 5 years and they changed it. That's like saying that they should refund people their WoW sub whenever an expansion comes out that they don't like. It's so fucking stupid, man. How these people think this is reasonable? Yeah, it's like the same people that think that there should be a mode to turn off all the paid skins in the game. They're so fucking delusional, it's unbelievable. Here's a lockband battle pass and time gated. Yeah, I mean, doesn't League of Legends have heroes that are locked between different things you have to spend money for, you have to play the game a lot for too? I mean, League of Legends has that too, right? No? Yes? How is this a fucking 50-50 here? Whenever League of Legends brings out a new character, can you play it for free without doing anything? Or do you have to unlock it? Bro, this is crazy. Like, it costs in-game money. So you either pay money IRL or you grind a game to purchase it. So what you're saying is that you do the exact same thing in Overwatch 2 that you do in League of Legends. What is the difference between the acquisition method between the two games? I don't get it, man. Some people, like, y'all are fucking crazy. It's less abusive? How's it less abusive? It's 8 fucking months? I'm talking about a skin. You don't need a skin to play the game. I'm talking about a character. This is actual character in the game. No way people are this dumb. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Overwatch 2 is based around counterplay. You need to have all the heroes unlocked for the game to function correctly. Yeah, I agree. I think they should make it easier to unlock the characters, but isn't League of Legends also based somewhere around counterplay too? You're gonna tell me that, like, there's no counterplay? Like, different heroes don't counter each other in League of Legends? So no hero counters the other hero in League of Legends. Holy fuck. Like, I don't believe that for a second. Got only minimally at top level play. But what about people that aren't at top level play? Like, you know, the 99% of players? I think there's probably a lot more hard counters. That they do, but why is it good to lock them in those kinds of games? It's good to lock them because that's how the game makes money. The game makes money by adding new characters into the game and then having people that don't want to grind for them spend money to get them. Like, is that, like, that's the way it works. 8 months, dude, bro. 8 months for a skin, not a character. We go delusional. Amazing how much people want to shit on Blizzard for a skin, man. Like, holy fuck. How much grinding you have to do in other games to get them up? 60 cents a week is it's too little to swallow. It's a fucking skin. There are a lot of games where you can't even get the items unless you spend real money. Like, it's funny that it takes 8 months and it's stupid, but who cares? It's a fucking skin. Like, why does anybody give a fuck about this? It's a cosmetic skin that you don't have to be good at the game for this. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to be top 100. You don't have to get a certain rank. You don't have to get in a Grandmaster. You don't have to have played the game a certain amount of time. You just spend $20 and you get the item. It's crazy, man. People are so entitled. Yes. I think that it's outrageous. People think because they bought Overwatch 2 5 or 6 years ago that Blizzard can never change the way the game works. It's nuts, man. Yeah, it's like Blizzard is the only company that can release a game for free, can take a game that used to cost money, release it for free, and then get hate for it. It's outrageous. Like, Blizzard's done so many dumb fucking things in the game. And yes, again, it's funny to make fun of the fact that it takes 8 months to get a skin, right? It should be shorter than that. But it doesn't matter either way because it's a fucking skin. So there's people who care about skins more than the actual game. That's why loot box games and gacha games are making bank. It is what it is. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely fucking right about that. Yeah, real talk, people did the exact same thing when they removed the initial Destiny 2 campaign first release content. I don't play Destiny, so I don't know about that. In League, you need to grind for a few hours, maybe to get a new champion, and many people not already got all the champions, but more than enough in-game currency to unlock the new ones instantly. You really can get easily all champs by playing the game casually. I think that it depends on like how long it takes. I mean, that's it. Yeah, hours you can't. Yeah, see, it's like I haven't played the game, so I don't know that. That's not true. Yeah, it's like I hate asking questions about something like this whenever people are I think they're just biased. People are saying they'd rather have a dead game with no updates and having more free content to keep playing. What the flying fuck? Yeah, it's just so stupid. Like, it's pathetic. It's pathetic and delusional. And also, it's like, it's so reductive, and people, like, immediately just write off any good thing because it's Blizzard. I guarantee you, if Riot had done this, or another game with a better reputation had done this, everybody would be positive about it. But they're not, because it's Blizzard. Which means that it actually has nothing to do with what's happening, and it has to do with people's preconceived notions. Which I do not respect very much. I don't respect the idea that, oh, well, because they did something bad in the past, I'm going to categorically dislike everything that they do in the future. No, this is not a respectable point to have. This is not a respectable position. This is not something that's worth taking seriously. This is just a stupid reactionary fucking kid that's mad because they don't like the company that's fucked them over. It's sheep mentality. Yeah, it's delusional. It's just as fucking delusional as the fanboys who say that it's actually good that they have a queue. That way the servers work better. It's just as fucking delusional. Ugh. The only issue is Overwatch 2. They released 3 new heroes, and 2 of those were on the beta before. Yeah, it would be better if they released more stuff with it. I think the tiered release of the game is probably going to be a bad thing, but we'll see what happens. What are you talking about? People shit on companies all the time. Just because you don't hear it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Bro, my job literally is to read about this shit. Like, I know. Yeah, I fucking know. He was in here. Chat's dumb as shit. Yeah, people are fucking stupid, man. Holy shit, people are fucking stupid. Let's see here. We're sitting through queue, then finding out all the unlocks and progress are going. Yeah, they need to make sure that everybody has their shit from Overwatch 1. It's sad. It's honestly sad. In a way, I feel bad for Blizzard, you know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you had a lot of fuck-ups, so that's what happens. Let's see here.
Y'all motherfucking server is down. Get that shit back up. We trying to play. There's a bunch of motherfuckers at home that's locked and loaded right now. Fix this shit. Bill Gates, Microsoft, whoever the fuck.
Yep, true. True. That's right, yep. What's this here? Overwatch 2, delete a game they bought that had a fair business model. Bro, people are mauling over this. Look at this. I'm baffled at how Blizzard managed to make people think it's okay to delete a game that people bought that had a fair business model. It's so stupid. It's so fucking, I don't understand this. How does it have a fair business model if it had fucking gambling boxes in it? Replace it with the same game. Boy, if they're just to make you purchase each upcoming hero for $10. Yeah. It's like every time that they do this, it was better before. This is some of the weirdest entitlement. You're high on copium? Why am I high on copium? I'll play the game if I want to. If I don't play it. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. I'm probably the most objective person here. I haven't played Overwatch 1 since the beta. I have no emotional investment in this whatsoever. I don't care. And I'm just looking at this objectively, and I think people are being unreasonable. Yeah, that's the way it goes. It was easier to get skins before. Of course it was easier to get skins before because the game had a box price. The game doesn't have a box price anymore. So they made it harder to get skins so people will buy them. That's the way it works. That was the goal. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's so simple. It's fair. Yeah, they made the game free. That makes sense. Yeah, but they still have our money. What do you mean they have your money? Okay. I'm honestly, I'm gonna get AIDS if I keep explaining this. So, you spend your money on Overwatch. You buy the game, and so you think that whenever you buy the game can never change from what you bought. How can you not apply that exact same logic to World of Warcraft? What is the difference between these two things? I don't, yeah, yeah, I don't understand. Because WoW is a world. The post literally saying exactly the same game, so what's the problem? Yes. So, yeah, it's the exact same game. So you're getting the game that you paid for, they just changed the game. That's fundamentally what happened, is that they took Overwatch 1 and they changed it, and if you bought Overwatch 1, you can play Overwatch 2. So you can still play the game, it's just that the game has been updated in a way that you dislike. So what you're saying is that whenever you buy the game, the company makes a hard commitment to never change its monetization options, to never change its content, to never change the way the game works, to never provide any updates on it that you dislike. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. It was released as a separate title. But is it really? Like, why don't you just, like, try to read between the lines and think for yourself? Ass backwards logic. You're so right. It's fucking stupid. I can't believe how dumb people are, man. People's arguments are going from a restaurant 2 years ago, eating a dish, and then being invited back for free to taste test the same dish where the recipe has changed slightly, then asking for a refund because they changed the recipe, even though you already consumed it. Yeah, they're asking for a refund on the fish they ate from 4 fucking years ago. It's insane. The game was out for 6 fucking years. You spent your money on it. You had the skins. Everything should transfer over to Overwatch 2. And as far as I know, it does, unless it's fucked up. And that's obviously a problem. But other than that, you spend the money. It's for fucking free now. And the only thing you can complain about is that the skins that they made in the future have a different payment model. It's nuts. Overwatch Andes are so dumb. I don't even think they're Overwatch Andes. I think these are people that are just, they get mad about Blizzard. That's it. They're unreasonable. That's when ranting about a game he doesn't play. I was playing it all day today. I've been playing it all fucking day. What if you bought Overwatch 1 a few months prior and you don't have a phone subscription to play Overwatch 2? You should buy a fucking phone. You want? No, it's honest opinion. Like, I think there's two universes with these with this phone problem. Okay, universe 1 is that you play the game and you have cheaters. Universe 2 is that you play the game, you have to connect it to your phone, and there's less cheaters. I want to live in the second one. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the way I feel. I would rather have to confirm my phone number and play a game that has a lower probability of cheaters than sit around and deal with people that are cheating constantly. Yeah, that's honestly the way I feel about it. Overwatch never had many cheaters, by the way. Most arguments are bad, but the core idea is the monetization change is less fun and makes sense, in my opinion. I mean, it's less fun. I mean, like, yeah, that's the problem with loot boxes, is that they're fun. People like them. We wouldn't want, like, I wouldn't want the, you know, it be illegal to have loot boxes if they weren't fun, because if they weren't fun, then nobody would play them to begin with. Just common sense. Something tells me trying to get a phone number is not going to be effective. It's pretty well known that SMS two-factor is not very secure. Not sure how this will be very different. Because it's not a matter of being a 100% effective solution. It's a matter of being a reduction technique, and that's what it does. It reduces the amount of cheaters. There's never going to be a game where there's no cheaters. There's just a game where there's a lot less cheaters, yeah. It's common sense. Sadly, phone authentication doesn't help against cheaters. I don't think that's true. And you know how I know that's not fucking true? Is that on Twitch, I have it on my main channel to make it to where you can only chat in the chat room if you have a verified account. And whenever I turn that off, there are way more spurgs in the chat. Like, way more kids that come in and talk shit, and they're like, oh, I got banned, I make a new account. The moment that I put that on, it cuts a lot of that shit out. Like, massively it removes that stuff. Spurs to the botters? Bro, like, absolutely they are. Absolutely. Yeah, look at Warzone full of cheaters. I don't know if Warzone has the rule for that or not. And also, the difference is like, oh, Overwatch never had that many cheaters. Yeah, no fucking shit it didn't. Let's say it didn't have that many cheaters. You know why? Because it was fucking box price. It wasn't free. It's just, ugh. People drive me insane. And also, isn't it true that Overwatch 1 required you to have a phone connected to your account to be in the top 500? I heard this from somebody, but it could be not true. Yes, okay, so it's just more brain-dead shit. It's unreal, man. Surprising people play this game expect anything else. As I said, the only big problem with Overwatch 2, I think, is the queues. It's the queues and the servers. Yeah, it's nuts, man. Dota 2 requires this too, and no one complains. So Dota 2 requires you to have a phone number attached to your account to play the game. Is that true? Yes, for ranked. To play ranked. Smart. Very smart. I do the same thing. Let's see here. Fuck poor people. Overwatch 2 requires a postpaid phone number instead of a prepaid one. No big deal, right? Not necessarily. I live in a third world country where the majority of the population uses prepaid, but to put it simply, we can't afford it. Big creators say it's not a big deal. It's better for everyone, and that would be right if everyone was equal. I can't play. None of my friends can play. Most of our country can't play, and I assume that's the same for other third world countries. They may sound like I'm bitching, but I never thought a day would come where I'd be too poor to play a free-to-play game. Yeah, the thing is that Overwatch is, it's not Blizzard's, this sucks. I mean, obviously this fucking sucks. But is it better that people in third world countries can play, or that the game's infested by cheaters like Warzone? That's too bad. In my opinion, I think that's just too fucking bad. Yeah, I'm not going to, you know, sabotage everybody's enjoyment of the game by making it more vulnerable to cheaters because some people that live in countries that can't afford it can't have it. Is that crazy? What a fucking loser day. Bro, y'all are crying, but every fucking logic, it is completely logical. How can you possibly cry about that? You think that it's a better idea for them to not have a phone verification. Why do you think they have this? It's because of cheaters, and it's a free-to-play game now, so it's going to have more cheaters. It's nuts. But is there another solution? I'm sure there's multiple solutions. You should probably do all of them. I don't want to play a game that has cheaters in it. And if you have a game that has cheaters in it, it kills the game. Totally agree with you. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like the argument here is that let's allow a bunch of extra cheaters into the game so people from third world countries can play the game. That's not a good trade-off. Because it ruins the people in that country's experience too. It ruins everybody's experience. It's like we allow more people to play the game, and then the game is worse for everybody. Well, that sounds horrible. How can anybody logically think that's a good idea? It's fucking stupid. Not crazy. It sucks for those people and not crazy. It does suck for those people. It does. It fucking sucks. Like, I'm not gonna go around and say that it doesn't fucking suck. It absolutely fucking sucks. But just because it sucks for one person doesn't mean that they have the moral authority to say that, oh, well, everybody else should bear this burden because it sucks for me. It's unfair. Tarkov is being fucked over by cheaters, and even it's a $59 game. Bro, there's a lot of games being fucked over by cheaters. There's inconsistency with their verification. They're only using one checksum compared to their old system. Some prepaid carriers work and others don't. Yeah, that's probably an issue. Like, I'm not saying the system's perfect. I'm just saying the idea behind it is okay. It's something I would agree with. It's unfair they get excluded whenever they played it for 6 years and paid for it. No. Yeah, I think it is. Because if you... Like, it doesn't matter if they paid it 6 years ago. Right? I mean, they can still play the game, right? They just have to have a phone. Like, it's not fair that Blizzard has to make the game worse for everybody that plays it because some people can't afford it. It's ridiculous. Like, would you want to play a game that doesn't have this, but it has way more cheaters? Or would you want to play a game that has this and has a lot less cheaters? I want a refund? Why would you get a refund? You probably bought the game years ago. You played the game for years. You play with less cheaters. Yeah, what do you mean? You're not getting a refund. Well, it's like asking for a refund when your game's no longer online. Yeah, exactly. That's just what happens with these games, man. It's not that they don't have phones, it's the prepaid phone plans aren't accepted. Of course they're not accepted, because those are the ways that people make the fucking infinite phone numbers, and they get around the system, and it doesn't matter. You have to make it to where you can't have the prepaid phone numbers, because if you can, then you're just gonna have people that just have one extra step into cheating. That's how it works. Cricket isn't allowed? Of course not. Cricket's a ratchet phone service. Anybody that has Cricket's probably doing something wrong. Probably selling weed or something like that. You get Cricket on a flip phone so you can call people to sell weed to them. Let's be honest, all right? The fuck's using Cricket? It's like Verizon's $50 a month, AT&T's $60, Cricket's $15? Yeah, I wonder why. Do you think hackers and cheaters won't find a way past this barrier too? I think that it will be a lot harder. I think that if you add this, you will reduce, and that's what I was saying before with the like the Spurgy messages in chat, in my main chat, versus with and without verification on. Do I still get dumbos in my chat even with verification on? Absolutely. I get a lot of dumbos in my chat with verification on. But I get even more whenever I have it off. And that's the difference. I'll take. People that get mad about what I'm saying, like, this is the mind of these people, right? And there is no argument behind it. There's no logic behind it. There's no rationale behind it. It's just a blind frustration that has no substance or thought behind it whatsoever. Yeah, it's just completely stupid. I'll read a couple more, then I want to move on past this. 2 factors, so much better than nothing. What the fuck? Yeah. It's like, well, there's some people that are going to get around it. Well, yeah. You have a law, and people break the law. Does that mean you shouldn't have the law because people are going to break it anyway? If you use that logic, then we wouldn't have any laws, because every law doesn't prevent anybody from committing a crime. It just adds a punishment to it. And it does reduce the amount of times people will probably do something. It's common sense. Could steal identification numbers. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. You could steal, and there will be ways that cheaters will get around this in Overwatch 2. But the amount of steps that they have to take went from 2 to like 20. Or at least 2 to 5. People not understand the idea of a deterrent. Because they're the same ones who are complaining that they want a refund for a game they bought 6 years ago because they changed it. And these aren't even the ones that can't play it with the phone verification. They're just mad that the game changed and they can't get the new Mercy Halloween skin because they want to jerk off to it. It's going to take them 8 months. And it's Halloween this month. They're not going to have enough time. Like, that's why. Let's be honest.